Alright, and welcome back. We got all the hard stuff out of the way. It should actually be much easier, straightforward, easy to understand. Now we're going to come up to the interactable here, the keypad, and we're going to press interact. It'll show up on the player's screen. They could solve the puzzle, and when the puzzle's complete, we'll have it fire off an event, like where you could set up to unlock a door. So thanks for sticking in there. After this, you can change a couple things here and there and pretty much have any interactable you want. So you could really, you could have a whole game with this. All right, let's get rolling. I just touched some grass, had some caffeine. I'm ready to roll. Now, in order to get the interact button to work, we need to set it up in the project settings. We need to scroll down to input. And this is where I already had it set up. Let me delete that. We need to go to action mappings. Let's add an action mapping. Oh, add it right here. I'm going to call it interact. And I'm going to set it up on the F key. And I'm also going to set it up on the Gamepad and controller. It'd be X on PlayStation. It's A on the Gamepad. What is it called? The face button bottom. That's where I'm going to set it up. If you click this icon, you could press the key that you want. So you click that, press F. Save that. Now we need to go to our character. And we need to choose the event interact that we just made. And we will also need a custom event because I was making a multiplayer game. And if you're making a multiplayer game, this is just a quick step you need to do. We're going to send it to the server, so we call it server interact. Server_interact is how I like to do it. And then this will run on the server. Reliable. Compile, save. And before it runs this, though, let's take our overlapped pickup that we made. Or overlapped interactable, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my notes and I used a pickup system when I made my game. And we're going to convert this to a validated get. So this is going to check if we have a temporary actor there, if we're overlapped and we have the temporary actor. And then if we do, we can now send it to the server. So, forgot. Okay. And then from here, oh, it's auto-saving. And then from here, this is where we'll send the message to show the widget on screen. And we're going to have to send the message through an interface to talk to the controller. So let's go ahead and make that interface function. I'm going to go to my controller. And then I'm going to go to the interface. You can find your interface in the class settings. And then you can browse to it. And we're going to add a function. We'll call it show lock widget. It's going to call it show keypad widget, or, you know, the idea is we're going to pull the widget on screen. Print the widget on screen here. And back in our controller, we can now call that function. Or we need the event. Event show lock widget. And we'll need to do a similar thing where we send it to the client, and that way it'll be on the client screen. It's a custom event. Call it client underscore show lock widget. This is where we call it client show lock widget. And this is where we will tell it to create the widget. And I think we call it the combo lock. It's just good practice to promote this to a variable. It's just a reference to our widget there. And then you add to viewport. If you wanted to do a double check to make sure that the widget hasn't been made already, you could convert this to a validated get and put it first. Sometimes that's good practice as well. I don't think it's needed here. And once it's on screen, we want to set the input mode to UI only. So we need to get player controller. Set input mode to UI only. Boom. We're also going to show the mouse cursor. Set that like that. Compile, save. Now I think we can go back to the character. I think this looks right. And then on server interact, we're going to right click and get controller. It's going to be a lot like over here, where we can now call this function or our message the show lock widget message. Connect that up. And I think we can test this. Oh, I forgot in our controller, we need to go back to the tutorial controller. And on the client show lock widget, we need to set that to run on owning client reliable. I should have done that right when I made it. That way I didn't forget. Let's see here. Yep. Okay, so it pulls up on screen, finally. We could control it with the Gamepad. Well, that's cool. All right. So, okay, so we are now in the home stretch. We're almost done. What I'm going to do now is just quickly make a door. And I'm not even going to make it open, swing open correctly. This is just to show the interaction system. We're actually going to need an enumerator as well, because we are going to have two things to interact with now, and we need to let it know what it's interacting with. So I'll do E underscore, oh, my caps lock is on, E underscore interact type. And then inside of here, we will go add enumerator, And the first one will be our keypad that we have, and then we'll add another one. This will be the door. Save that. We also need another interactable class. Let's go to blueprints, blueprint interface, int underscore, and this one's going to be the interface for the interactables. This will allow us to pass information to the interactable when the character interacts with it. And now let's just quickly make a door. So we'll right click our base and create child. And we'll call it interactable door. And I think we're ready to go ahead and make it. And we'll just use the, I think the engine has a door in here. Bam, door. Oh yeah. We'll need to move our collision sphere to about there, where the character comes in here. He'll be able to interact. Compile and save. Now we need to add the interact type to the base interactable class. Here, let's go to our base interactable. And then we're going to add a variable. And this is going to be the interact type. And the variable type will be our enumerator that we made. So it's e underscore interact type right here. And we'll go ahead and make that replicated. I'm going to compile and save. And in the class settings, let's add the interface. int interactables. And let's open that bad boy up. We're going to add a few functions. First one's going to be get interact type. And this is going to be the enumeration. We're going to add that on the output. We're going to add an output and look for e underscore, what do we call it, interact type? Yeah, e interact type. Just like that. Oh, and let's name the output interact type. Compile and save. And then now that we have this, we can go back to our character, back to where our interaction system is, and we're going to have to update this, disconnect it, and now we can drag out our overlapped interactable, and we'll get this, what do we call it? Get interact type. You want the message. And then from the interact type that we just made, we're going to do what's called a switch on int. Okay, it has it right here. Switch on e interact type. Let's move this out of the way. And now it's going to continue based on the object we're interacting with. So the keypad, we're going to want to know if it's locked or not. So let's make a variable here. Boolean door locked question mark. And if the door is locked, it will show the widget we made. And if it's unlocked, it will open the door, but we're not there yet. Oh, let's set door locked to be true by default. You could set this variable inside the interactable, but we've spent so much time on this. I'm just trying to get this to work. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. Okay. It still works. Okay,
Good
now that we know
stuff.
that works, we need to set up an interface for when the player solves the puzzle to let the character pawn know that the door is unlocked. So we'll go to the interface, new function. It's called set door unlocked. Just like that. And then back in some open space on the graph, we'll call that. Oop. And we're going to want this to play on the go on the server. So let's do a custom event. Called server underscore set door unlocked. All right, that should work. And then we could, from here, boom. All right. Now we need to finally go back into the widget, our old combo lock widget here. Should have called it keypad lock widget, but you know what? That works. And let's go to the graph. We're going to go to the enter button logic. On clicked enter button, there she is. This is where we're going to right click and get a function called get owning player pawn. This will get our character, and we could call that set unlocked. So once we have a correct, it'll set it unlocked. And I kind of want a unlocked message to show up here. For now, we'll just use the print string to know it's correct. And then even if you get it wrong or you get it correct, when you press enter, I want the widget to close. let's get player controller. And then this will set the input back to game mode. So set input mode, game only. So if it's correct, boom, it'll go to game mode. If it's wrong, it'll go to game mode. And we'll get rid of the mouse cursor. Oh, that's not it. Set show mouse cursor. And then we can remove the widget. We do that by remove from parent. So if the combination is correct, we get a correct message, and it will set unlocked, go off the screen. Oh, I have a note here to play invalid entry sound. Let's do play sound. You could do it at location too if you're really working on a game here. And the engine has a nice invalid entry sound. Oh, I thought it did. Let's just choose. Well, just so you know, this is where you could put a sound. So if you have like an incorrect sound, it'd be like, eh. Cool. I just don't have a sound. Okay, I'm going to test this too. Okay, our combo is 1, 2, 3. Hit enter. Yay, it's correct and it goes away. All right. And then we're going to want it to communicate with the door actor. Actually, let's go ahead and drag our door out now. Just kind of put it over here just so we can see it. And let's open our interactable door for the first time here. And in the defaults, go to the type, make it door. And then the name. This is actually what's going to display when you go into the sphere. So we'll say door locked, use keypad. Excuse me. And then compile save. And then let's go back into the character. And now off of door, we could copy this door locked check. And if the door is locked, you could even do an additional message here to say to go to the, or maybe even give a clue or something. But if the door is not locked, this is where we would open it. You do the opening code. For the sake of time, I'm just going to destroy the door. But this is where you would put your open door code. All right, let's see if this works. So there's this door here. It says door's locked, use keypad. Go over the keypad, hit 0, 0. Oh, wrong combo. But if we do 1, 2, 3, correct. It's unlocked. That means if we go over here, boom, that's where the door would open. Okay, so like I said, we go keypad if it's locked, and then in the keypad you unlock it if you do the right combination, and then you can go up to the door and open it. But you could even do more steps if you wanted. Like you go to the combo lock, it opens the combo lock, and then when they have the correct combo, you could do some more logic where you grab a reference to the door actor, and then we do another interface where we open the door instantly when they get it right. But just that's something else you could do. You could do a bunch of things. I'm hoping that this is just a nice introduction, or you get some information on how interfaces talk to each other. That way you could get blueprints talking to each other. Oh, one thing I did want to do is show you how I got these letters to work instead of just numbers here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so back in our widget here, find your combo text, the display text here, and we had it bound before, but just remove binding from all three. You go over here and you hit remove binding, and we'll be making new bindings. Go to create binding, and basically we're going to grab, this is for the first combo integer. We'll need 3 of these. So basically I'm going to grab my combo, and if this integer is equal to 0, I'm going to assign it A. If it's equal to 1, assign B, and so on. So we'll do it equal. It's equal to 0. Then the return value in text is going to be an A. See what I'm doing there? We'll do another equal. And if it's equal to 1, we will set that. We'll just copy and paste this and set it to B. So it just gets kind of repetitive, but it makes sense. We had 4 integers, so this is 3. And we got 1 more. If it's equal to 4, that would be E. All right. Let's compile and save. I'm just going to go ahead and test that. I think it's ready for testing. Yep. See, that works. So you just repeat that for combo integer 2 and 3. And so that went on a lot longer than I thought, but hopefully it was helpful. You got some information. I learned that I really need to set up these tutorials and organize them better. And I hope you subscribe, because I'll be making more in the future. They'll be more prompt and to the point and organized. But there's a lot of information in here. If you took just some of this information and applied it to different types of interactables, you could have a whole game. But yeah, so that's cool. Thanks for watching. You're awesome. Bye.